Well, I think that's a great question about my background, because I think if anybody's making a decision as to who's a consultant or, why would I go with somebody, I think it's important to understand what their experiences are, not, as well as what their potential is, but certainly what their experiences are. So my journey began about when I started a technology startup called the REH Associates. And it was a company that I ran for 20 years. It was a company that did software development. It's a firm that morphed, changed many times over that 20-year period. We did software development, we did infrastructure design, we were involved in network electronics and telecommunications. And I built this company up to about $10 million in annual sales. Right. So, what experiences are important in terms that we can use to translate to our clients? I think the first is we got up to $10 million in annual sales. So there was a lot of things we had to do from a marketing perspective in order to reach that annual goal. And so we bring that knowledge. Another area is that in order to go from basically 1 or 2 employees to 50 employees, there's a lot of things that happen in terms of your internal structure, in terms of your vision, in terms of how you align your organization in order to achieve the vision. So we have that background as well. A third thing is over a course of a 20-year period, the economy went through about 4 different dips. So every time there was a dip, there was a hit to your margins, a hit to your customer base. How do you have to transition or reposition in order to sustain your margins? So we constantly had to revise or revamp our product line, our service offerings. There's a few projects that we're pretty proud of of companies that we've been able to assist and work with. We've also worked with accelerators too, business accelerators, and in various capacities. And that's been where they've brought in startups, and we've helped these startup companies, go through various stages of development. But specifically what the REH Group has done, we've worked with a firm that now has introduced a language translation program that is competing with the free translation programs that are out there. But it addresses confidentiality and security. It also is, it's so much more efficient because it has a memory translation engine. But we've been very involved with this organization in their marketing and setting up their direct selling approach, as well as their online marketing channels. And it's been a very healthy and good relationship for both parties. There's been a nonprofit that we've worked with, actually had a 5-year relationship that based in Detroit, that was a college student when it started, but eventually has now just built a beautiful organization providing a product to those that need this product, to the homeless. And we were involved with a number of the early stages to get the company to a certain level. So another project that I'm really proud of is that, as a public or elected official, which was new for me, the whole concept of politics, but you learn very quickly. I came from an environment where there was a lot of friction. There was 2 separate schools, and of course, with separate schools, there's everybody has a unique identity to that school. But unfortunately, because of budgetary reasons, there was a decision we had to make and consolidate to 1 school. But in order to do that, we had to pass a bond. And that was the challenge. The bond had failed 3 times. So I feel that, I may have been the voice of moderation in explaining that, no one's in favor of additional taxes or additional millage, but that there was a necessity, that the economies or the costs of maintaining these 2 old facilities just no longer made any sense. So that voice of moderation, being able to come up with the sort of a compromised approach that would appeal to the extremes, was one of the things that I worked very hard on and was able to, I think because we passed the bond by actually a very healthy margin. I think it was close to 60 in favor, 40 against, which was really unheard of. Shows that was, we had a very successful campaign. we executed it properly, and it had great results. There were many. Over a course of 20, I mean, the first challenge when you're starting a business is, oh my God, can I meet payroll?
Yeah.
You know, the sleepless nights that go with that. That's your first challenge. And you know, did I put the right profit margin on this project? You know, so that we can make healthy money, so that we can reinvest our money. That was sort of the early days. As the company grew, you know, I realized that people were vitally important to the success of my organization. So a big challenge was, how do you keep people? How do you attract them? How do you retain them? You know, what kind of programs can you set up so that they feel that that their careers are developing, you know, and that they're an integral part of your organization. That has always been, or was always a huge challenge for me. There were things where another challenge would be the economy. And I listened, one was not so much the economy, but that we were a non-union shop. Well, there were a lot of factors that happened, probably due to the economy, that forced us to go from a non-union to a union shop. Well, that is a major transition for our company as well. And you know, going through that whole process took a lot of work, a lot of effort. We were fortunate, and it was a good choice for us, but it was a very difficult choice.